Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are playing in the Ashes of Malmouth expansion as a Necromancer. A summoner Necromancer to be precise. And today we are moving forward in the story. Plan to at least make it to the old Arcovia camp and probably make pretty good headway on clearing out some of Darius Cronley's lackeys. Don't think we'll make it all the way to Cronley himself, but never quite know. We've been advancing at a higher rate than I had expected, which is of course a pleasant surprise. So first of all, let's say hello to the bugs of the stirring hive. The hives often are a higher level than the surrounding area, so you get good experience from them, you get decent loot drops from them, and most hives do have a queen of sorts, sometimes multiple heroics, so the loot drops are pretty stellar, or there's a pretty good chance of actually getting some blues or greens, which against regular enemies are, well, the odds are much lower. Okay, a little bit of money and we're getting flanked. Luckily, that's been dealt with. Narnach, their Grand Queen, is 3 levels above me. So, let's put up our mirror reflection thing. It's not quite a mirror of Erioctes, but it's comparable. What was it called again? Mark of Torment. Yes, that one. Well, for now, a lot of the utility skills I have at one point. I do plan on maxing some of these skills after we have at least maxed out the Necromancer mastery and put 1 point in all the different skills. So for at least the early part of this series, I've got a couple of goals. One of the goals is to just showcase all of the Necromancer skills. Use them at least for a couple times in a single episode, and evaluate whether these skills are useful for this build or not, but also just to show them, since it's new content and you might be curious how certain things look or work, and usually one episode is enough to at least get a little bit of a feel for it. Other goal is to simply get ahead as fast as possible and make it to Act 5 and 6 to the new content. To see what happens after we win our staring contest with the Loghorian. And that's also why I'm maybe a little bit more rushed than I normally am. Now I'm doing slightly less of the side content, but it's all still good. We're now focused on the main story and just on progressing, because I really want to see what the new content is about. And especially if you've been following the channel for a while, this is my 5th or my 6th Grim Dawn playthrough, so by now the regulars will know the story. I thought to bring a frozen heart, so we can just hand this in and get quite a stack of blue items. Wonderful. Or green items. They're green, not blue. Okay. Nothing truly fancy, but it is the devotion point here that we care about, and that is going to be the second part of the lion. One more, and that gets us some skill points. Yeah, in between episodes now, I did clear out some of the areas that we haven't been to, and I'll keep that up as a habit. I might skip some of the side areas and then just fill that in between episodes, but that way I keep the episodes more focused, so we get to the new content sooner. But clearing out some areas, it is good for loot drops and for XP. And we gained a level, so 2 in the mastery bar, 1 point for myself. Last time we boosted the Undead Legion a couple times. Let's actually have a look. Play around a little bit with the points. 1, 2, 3 gets us another skeleton. Ooh, this is tempting. The recharge goes down, energy cost goes down, and the number of skeletons goes up. You know what? For just once, we'll skip the mastery bar and actually get ourselves more skeletons. Cooldown is now down to 11 seconds. We can have 7 zombies. Ooh, we get 2 archers and a meleer. We get another 2 archers and a meleer. So that's quite a ranged army we have here. Especially if they manage to hang back a little bit. Should be pretty good for their damage output and for their survivability. Okay, this one is ours now, so let's go to town and have a chat with Quaid. Hello.
Keep your weapons where I can see.
Morning, sent me. We have a do. I don't even know what do I made, but we have a do.
See anything you like?
It's nice the way those things work. It's just like clicking a oila. You just click it, you sign away your soul, and you get access to whatever it is you wanted access to. Bonus to bleeding damage. Yeah. Sure, fine, whatever. Keep these, keep those. Ah, yes. Quite a few injured people. Anything I can do to help? Here's some royal jelly. And that gets us some balm and a recipe we already know. Wonderful. So we can sell that one back to them. And keep this in our stash of useful things. And we have to kill the troll.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Wonderful.
See you around.
Given that we have some space here, might as well put this one down. If things really get tough, we can apply some balm to get some life regeneration. Oh, we are missing out on one skeleton, aren't we? But we do have quite a number of ranged Muppets here. Let's call the grave just to give them a little bit of sustain. And boom, down goes the troll. As I said, we have quite a damage output and a surprising amount of sturdiness by virtue of being able to kill most things. No, we're gonna ignore town. It's better to go to town after we complete the side quests. And then for now the goal is gonna be to kill. Why are you not shooting at me? Seriously, you seem to have an AI bug, you guardians up on the walls. Would be lovely if I managed to accidentally, what's the word I want to use here without saying kill? Lose some of our melee skeletons. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with lose. Was there a champion in there? There used to be a champion in there. I guess we missed out on him, or we just accidentally murdered him. Could have been this guy. He looks fancy. Frankie the knife. What? Hold on. We're on your side. Wait, what? You're in the cage. They're bandits, so they die. Cool. Yes, we lost one. Cool. Then we just need to lose one more. And then we can recast the skeletons, and then we have all 7 without recycling one of the archers. Because that's my entire agenda over here. Oh, corpse. Okay, let's go there. I must say, those archers are pretty nice for killing things that are standing on top of ledges. Especially if they manage to keep their wits about them and not get themselves killed. Then life might actually end up working out for them. The pathing of the projectiles is still not as great as it could be. Some of these arsonists on the walls are definitely not doing smart things. Okay, another forge. You know what? I think we might actually end up facing down Mr. Darius Cronley himself. And we are down to 4 skeletons, which is amazing. So we can now actually cast another 3 and go up to 7. Sweet. So we have at least 4 archers. Or crossbow skellies. What's the other ones? I see a lot of crossbows. I think we might have a full squad of crossbows here. That is nice. You are quite dead. Also means if they're all ranged, I am going to be the melee. Oh, I do have the harvest and I have a lot of firepower backing me up. And bullets are a kind of shield as well, aren't they? Okay, that is 3 out of 3. Have to remember to keep using the Call of the Grave every once in a while, because it is a heal for the pets. And that's probably something that I just overlooked earlier on and just forgot to do. And that is just to keep casting it, even just a little bit into a fight after the minions have taken a couple scraps. Just give them the regen, so they will just get a bit of a shot in the arm, get healed a bit, and have a better chance of surviving the encounter. Especially once you've got some skeletons that you're happy with, such as I am right now. Okay. Oh, we can actually shoot at them from the top. That is kind of funny. It's exploitative as heck, but it works. Nobody ever said we had to be entirely honorable here. We just have to be effective. Ooh, dynamites. Okay. Now we can go into Cronley's hideout itself, tag the waypoint, go back to town, hand in the quest. And then continue going after Cronley. For the Cronley's hideout we need a full scavenged plating. Do we happen to have one completed? We need one of those. Okay, so we'll need to retrieve that from the stash. Well, gonna make a quick town stop. Then we might as well go back to town for that as well. But first, Old Arcovia. Because I think we were getting a follow-up quest from Quaid to kill Moneybags. Yeah, Moneybags Martin. Wonderful. Anything we got here is useful. Decent amount of pierce resist, though too bad about the blade trap, since it is a Nightblade skill we can't use ourselves. And okay, so nothing truly useful.
Good price on what I've got
Sell,
left.
sell, sell. Skirmish blading. Have to sell 2 of them to me. No, you don't. Too bad. Too bad. Oh, I'll take the scrap. Get all the scrap you can get. Let's see, we used the portal to get here. It doesn't matter, we're already at the waypoint anyway. So, It's too bad that the
Got something you need stashed?
stash is all the way in the back here. It's always such a walk in order to just grab a simple thing such as a scavenged plating. Let's see. Yes, there you are. One scavenged plating for me. Just put it in the back pocket.
Oh, hold on.
Physique's turn. Ah, we gained skill points. Wonderful. I'm not gonna touch the minions this time. Let's actually just put 3 full points into the bar. Advance this. Make up for what we did last level. Because we have a very nice army. I'd like to keep my nice army for at least for a while. Yeah, and that takes us back to Cronley's hideout. So there's a devotion shrine down here, down there in the pits, and there are plenty of interesting enemies to murderize. So definitely starting to feel like the build is coming into its element. Okay, admittedly this might be slightly tweaked build, because I do have access to the crafting resources of someone that has been playing the game for quite a while. So I do have a lot of at least a lot of the materials for crafting, so I don't need to spend a lot of extra time farming it. On the other hand, now you still need money to craft things, so that is a natural limit. And also things like the crystals and scrap, they do form natural limits, so you can't push too far with the specifically crafted things. Since I'm simply too lazy to switch to another character to craft the components that I need and then go back, that's not something I enjoy. Then I'd rather just wait and craft it on my character itself. This is the shrine I was talking about, and indeed scavenged plating and a scrap, and that is a devotion point, as well as some green stuff. Devotion completes the lion. Both me and the pets get some extra damage, so that is quite wonderful. Is this any good? +1 to bone harvest. Hey, Necromancer's spiked shield mask of Menhir's wall. This looks interesting. Bleeding resistance is too bad. Bone harvest is nice. Oh, it is our primary skill. We haven't actually boosted it in any way. A little bit of health is not quite bad either. No, we'll just keep this apart and have a look at it once we're back in town. Body armor with a bit of vitality, but the other things are not quite useful. Ditto here though. Ether resistance. Not really all that great. So, we lost one of our knuckleheads. For now, we'll just push through. Once we're down to 4 skeletons, we'll just recast and then add another 3 to the army. Until then, we can make do. We're doing plenty of damage here. Now, coming back to the slightly twinked bits, I also grabbed a Windborn Greaves from my stash, which gives me some movement speed, which is primarily why I picked it, and the Howling Wind is the cold explosion that you might see every once in a while. It's nothing over the top powerful, but it's just a nice quality of life item. And I do like to have some quality in my life. Okay, these are the more ether-based enemies that I was talking about, and look at that. Very nice whirlwind of cold damage. The way forward lies there, but down here, if I remember, are a bunch of wasps. And of course, we gotta kill the wasps. Them's the rules. Because Look at that. Another queen. A frozen queen. Wonderful. And yeah, then we can continue our speedrun towards Mr. Cronley himself. Let's see, was there a broken wall here or was it a bit ahead? Oh, we killed the Rennie, so he's not guarding the door here. We had saved the Rennie in an earlier episode. He's the traitor dude in town that we found some evidence on. Then we would have fought him here, but we wouldn't have had the blood of Cthulhu that we got from killing him. So well, there's trade-offs to be made. Okay, I can definitely see where having a nice army of archers with massively boosted damage is going to be very convenient. Especially if we keep speedrunning it like this, and wow, this might be a bit of a record time playthrough, which is very convenient. Because I really want to get to the new content. I like it when things work out the way well, when things unexpectedly work out much better than anticipated. I mean, I had expected the Necromancer to be fun, but I hadn't expected it to be incredibly fast, because most of the time with summoners you have a bit of a slower playstyle. It's more slow, more deliberate. Now you've made more controlling type of builds. Now you have numbers on your side, so now you can just occupy all of them. But in this case, we're just blitzing it. We're doing so much damage, I don't really need to focus on my support skills either. And it's not like we have out-leveled the content or anything. Hello there, Martin. Mr. Moneybags. Let's just do a grave call, do some reflect, and boom, gone. So, that was rather quickly. Okay. Then there's some food here. Oh, a last restoration of our bar down there before the actual boss fight. Is there anything here? Oh, we already got a bloodstained note, so might as well drop it. Anything else that is useful for the fight? Does not appear to be. We are overflowing with health flasks. That's always a nice luxury problem to have. Oh, okay, we did lose quite some minions here, so let's add some skeletons. Let's resummon this dude, because he's also about to croak. And still, we got 4 archers and 2 meleers. That should create another opportunity soon. So with that, let's face down Darius Cronley. So that's one. That's the other. And then, hello, Mr.
So Bourbon's dog has come barking. You should give up trying.
Something like that. Die. Okay, let's just put up some old buffs. Ooh. Okay. So we can't completely brainlessly grind through the dude, because he does have quite some health and damage output. But we can scare the living daylights out of all of his minions. Okay. Okay, we did manage to get at least one caster here, because I see meteors falling down on his face. Let's put a reflection mirror. We are... Oh, that health flask was on a cooldown. Slightly longer than I had expected it to be. And Cronley goes down nonetheless. Wonderful. And then in the end we get swamped with minions. Well, here, be afraid. Be very afraid. And then of course, something that is easy to overlook. The little hideout behind him. And let's see, destroy everything or keep some crystal. I think I'll keep the crystal. And we get an ether cluster as well. Wonderful. Some notes. Put the cluster over there. Anything very compelling here? Not really. Okay. Oh, but oh well, we have not yet opened the Darius chest. Anything good in here? Chain belt of hungering rifts. Sigil of consumption, that is occultist, not for us. Zealot's gauntlet. That's offensive ability, attack speed, cast speed, and skill disruption protection. So it just helps us be even more aggressive than we already are. Okay, I can't say I object to that. And then it is time to wrap this up. We do need to step a little ahead and actually tag the next waypoint, because otherwise I'll have to do this fight yet again in order to progress. I had that once before, that I portaled out in after defeating Cronley in the boss room, and then I was kind of surprised the next time that I needed to do it again. The kind of mistake that you only make once, maybe twice, and after that it has reinforced itself quite well. So this connects to the rails on the other side next to the entrance. Of course, we can't move over it. And here we can drop through a hole in the floor. Twin Falls is greeting us with corpses all over the place. Not the happiest of places. And let's scare these undead a little bit. Okay, we're now entering the part of the game where it might get a little confusing on whose side specific skeletons are gonna be, because there's skeletons all over the place. Well, let's do that next episode. Huh? For now, let's wrap things up. First off, we have a chat with Quaid over here. Hello. Martin is dead. You're welcome. We get some reputation and we gain enough XP for another level. Wonderful. Ooh. 2 points gets us over here. Blood Boil upgrade for Siphon Souls. Okay. Gets us a little bit of damage over time on top of the instant damage that was already dealt. And in addition, enemies lose a little bit of offensive ability, so they have a harder time hitting me and critting me. And presumably this scales with level. Probably gonna be a 1-pointer, but it's not gonna change the world. Over here we have Blight Burst, which is an upgrade for our Blight Fiend. Toxic gases build up and then release in an explosion of toxic decay. 10-meter radius, a boatload of acid damage, vitality damage and poison damage. Confuses target for 2 seconds. I wonder if this is an explosion or if this is going to be a targeted thing. Either way, it costs energy, so it's going to be an active skill that the monster can use, and it generates additional threat, so I like that. Oh, it's yet another distraction. So Stitches is back, and I think we had a bunch of items that were not terribly great. Exactly. And then we'll just put that one over there. Oh yeah, now they're selling the scavenge platings that we were looking for earlier. Yeah, that was something to evaluate later. So there's 2 quests to report back in Devil's Crossing. But, now that we have defeated Darius Cronley, a new questline, or an alternative ending to a questline, opens up in New Harbor down here. Also, Definition Site. I overlooked that one. We'll go back there later, but first, over here. You're happy. Yeah, over there. Alicia. The cowboys shouldn't bother you anymore. Wonderful, and we get 3 scrap from her. Okay, something, Oscar, something. There's a double check. Nothing overly interesting over here. Nothing overly interesting over there. Nope. Then this way we go. Blow up some walls. I think it was just a nice chest with some skeletons. Oh, we are down to 5. Now we're back up to 7 enemies, or skeletons. And another cave and hidden spoils. And look, more hidden spoils. So you spend the dynamite, but you do get some good stuff. I saw a very big green flash. I think that was the... oh yeah, that's the what was it called? Blight burst. There's no cooldown on it, so I wonder what the internal logic is of our zombie to use it. Or whether it will just always use it, or only if there's like a certain amount of enemies around, or whether it's on a timer without an explicit cooldown. Hanifi Mines, ah yes. There's a couple of interesting characters down here. I believe there's 1 or 2 purple enemies. Hellion the Rat, who also has a white rat pet. Oh, and some skill disable things. Let's see, make enemies afraid. Let's boost my minions. Put up my reflect, do some more, and then the minions have killed them. Wonderful. Okay, let's stop being so fuzzy about the specific makeup of my retinue of minions. Let's just keep the number topped up at 7 at all times. So if we lose things, we just resummon more and we cycle through them a little bit. So we got the Wilkins note. That's just more lore. Lore XP, that is. Some of these skeletons seem to be sliding around, which definitely looks odd. We are gonna get some free dynamite over there, so this mission has already paid for itself in that regard. Or this side area, because no, remember we did pay 1 dynamite to get in here. Hello. Haha. Didn't see me coming, did you? I was being very sneaky. Hello. Here, please run away. Oh, some loot behind there. Okay, crossover back here, and then the final loop. Hello. Here, have a swarm. I'm almost starting to feel sorry for these folks, because no, they're 1 level above me, so no, can't say that I'm over leveling them or something along those lines. This is just a fair fight. Well, except against these guys that are level 24. They are 1 level below me. But other than that, fair chance. And they're not quite taking it. Could even say they're squandering their chances. And this is where we dropped out of the sky. Let's see, mine exits, mine exits. And we'll have to see where this exactly exits. So I don't think there was much more to do outside. Yeah, exactly. This is old Arcovia, and the other exit's probably up there. So, okay, so there's no way. This you drop down into the mines, so that is quite all right. Oh, we do have to report back to Devil's Crossing, and then they're gonna tell me to move forward with my life. Find Elsa somewhere else. I think that was the story thread for this bit.
The world is damnation.
There you go.
Now that we're not in any
Ooh, now respected. So that means we have access to this lovely little bounty table over here. You want me to make a calamity? You know what? I'll step back and I'll just have a look at that later. Usually making things is not all that efficient. So in this case, now making a calamity, it uses up one of the purple ingredients if I'm remembering it correctly. We can actually have a look here.
Got any more scrap metal?
Calamity, this one. Uses up a tainted brain matter and we get a blood of Cthulhu in return. So now we're spending some of these materials plus 8,000 gold in order to make it. And then we get, oh, we actually have a calamity. But then we just get a crafting material in return, so we're not really winning anything with it. We are level 25 now though. Let's have a look. Sanctuary. I mentioned this one earlier. A bit of health. We require less physique for armor. Get some pierce resistance, which will actually get us to 78, which is pretty nice. 2% chance of a 2-second stun retaliation. Not gonna be all that great. We are not supposed to get hit all that often. But there's 1 in 50 hits is gonna stun the attacker. But whenever we get hit by a critical strike, we get a physical damage shield. 2250 damage absorption. It's at this point it's actually slightly below our health, but it's still a respectable amount that we don't have to tank in other ways. And it kicks in once every 18 seconds, and I believe this duration might get affected by the cooldown reduction that we have over here, so it will probably be a little bit more often than 18 seconds, probably around 15 or 16 seconds. So for this one we need a ward stone and we need a radiant gem, and we already have ancient hearts, so you know what, we'll just craft it here. Ward stone and a radiant gem. R for a radiant gem, which needs a dense fur. 1 dense fur, that gets us a radiant gem. And I think I said a ward stone, which is this. So now we have those 2 ingredients. Then we can go back to Sanctuary. Just double checking. We are giving up something that gives us a little bit of physical damage and a 1 in 20 chance of doing some AoE damage. It's nice, it's useful, it triggers every 3 seconds. But now in the more intense fights we definitely have issues with our health, because we do get hit for quite a bit. So I think Sanctuary is gonna be the superior choice here. Hey, look at that, I now actually have a spare calamity.
Go on now.
And in that case I might as well just turn it into the bounty table. Like that, report in. Boom. And we turn it into a blood of Cthulhu, which we already had one of. Then next up, Barnabas. Ah, yes, we need food. So he's gonna send us over to Homestead.
Come, friend. Right to business then. Nobody's been as...
Exactly. Homestead is gonna be the next goal for us. But that is gonna be for next episode. So, as always, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching. And hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.